Okay, let's see what's coming up. Oh, something's happening quickly. It's funny. If you have had any sort of heartbreak or disappointment or, something's happening quickly. I don't know what it might be related to in terms of this Three of Swords energy, but Three of Swords is usually some sort of sadness, heartbreak, disappointment, something along those lines. But what I see, here's what I'll say, is if you've had some heartbreak recently, it's going to be wrapping up very quickly. Or it may be approaching quickly. It's hard to say, but these two cards together, this card is Eight of Wands, which is swiftness. So this means things are lining up. Sometimes this can mean getting the last piece of information that clears things up, or, it's possible, Scorpio, that this may mean receiving some news that causes your heart to break, or finding something out that creates disappointment, betrayal, sadness, sorrow. So I just want to, put that out there. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It can also mean that things are wrapping up. They're 80 to 90% complete. So this could mean that whatever sorrows that you've had recently, they're wrapping up swiftly, that you're 80 to 90% out of the woods with that. So I'm going to let you, because this is for so many people, you're going to be having different circumstances, but this card means swiftness, information, news coming to you, the last piece that unlocks the puzzle, things happening quickly. This is the Eight of Wands flying through the air. So it's almost like the pot is about to boil. I always use with this analogy, with this card, the analogy of, the pot may have been boiling for a while, and then finally it's sort of that last moment when that last piece of heat comes in and it boils. But with this Three of Swords, it's pretty obvious from the card's imagery what this card is about. This card is about having something on your heart, feeling sad, feeling pierced, feeling like your heart is pierced by something. And sometimes it can be third wheel energy. So sometimes it's an affair or a cheating, or, three people involved, or betrayal, someone that you gave your heart to and you feel like they betrayed you in some way, disappointment or sorrow. But whatever's happening is happening quickly. So it's either going to be a quick heartbreak, or that your whatever sorrow, betrayal, sadness you had is going to wrap up quickly. So that's what these two cards say together. And it's okay, Scorpio, changes on the horizon. This is the card, which is Wheel of Fortune. And this means the tables will turn. Whoever was at the top will be at the bottom. Who was ever at the bottom will be on the top. If you notice too, in these two cards, the transition from this card to this card, this is dark clouds. And then the clouds lighten up here. And, someone's getting thrown off the wheel. So it basically means that the season is changing. The tides are turning, whatever, if you're wrapping up from some heartbreak, or, the last remnants of some sorrow, this time will heal. Is these two cards together, if you see, the hurt heart and then the wheel of time changing things. Time heals all wounds. I know it's cliched, but that's really kind of what these two cards in tandem say. And then continuing the storyline, time changes things, and then you'll be ready to move on. You're going to be ready to move on. You may be feeling it. I'm getting right around the new moon for you, Scorpio. That's May 6th this month. And this is Eight of Cups, which means being weary, feeling like you're ready for the new chapter, feeling sort of tired, like you're ready for the next thing. You're ready to move on to the next journey, the next cycle, the next episode, the next chapter. Eight of Cups represents something you've put a lot of time and love and care into. So it's something that you might have invested some in, like a job or a lifestyle or a house or a relationship, or something a project that you've put a lot of care into, but you're ready to move on from it. And the times have changed, especially after any of these sorrows or heartbreaks. towards the beginning of the month, Libra, something's going to happen quickly. Maybe it's a realization, the last piece of information that releases you from the sorrow, and times are changing and you're ready to move on. So I'm not sure what it is, Scorpio, but I get the sense that there's going to be some sort of moving on from something at the beginning of May. Something that maybe hurt you. You're going to heal from it and walk away. That's really what I get. I get that you get that final last piece of information. There might either release something that's on your heart or cause you to feel sorrow, but you'll realize like time will change it. Time to get off this wheel. If you've been on a cycle of this, it's time to leave. And then in the middle of the month, I get that you have, it's interesting here, you have both Star and Fool in the reverse position. So both of them are pretty innocent cards. Fool usually represents naivete, beginner's mind, the openness to adventure, trust, faith. And Star represents hope, self-acceptance, radiance, knowing your place in the world, being able to be just yourself, vulnerable and naked just as you are, and full of your own radiance. So interestingly, if I just strip it down to like one word, this is faith and this is hope. So is there a way, Scorpio, that you are not experiencing faith or hope, or that those are below the surface for you in the middle of May? Is there a way that you're having a hard time accessing faith and hope? It's just a question for you. It could be that through some of the experience of what's happened up here is that I'm going to say don't lose faith or hope. When cards are in reverse, they're usually available and present to us, those archetypes and those energies. But when they're in reverse, it means that they're just in shadow, or we're not seeing them. I often use the image of holding a cork below the surface. It wants to float at the top. That's its natural state. But when there's resistance, fear, or doubt, it can't come to the top. So what is it that you need to acknowledge, release, let go of, or trust in to experience this faith and this hope? They're both available to you. It's also, loss of innocence is also how I could read this, because Fool represents, all things being fresh and new. This is almost the opposite of cynicism. And same with Star, is that Star represents accepting things as they are, accepting yourself as you are, accepting the natural order of the universe, feeling grounded both physically and emotionally, recognizing that you have worth and value, that have a star quality just as you are. So my question to you, Scorpio, is, are you experiencing any cynicism or any the opposite of naivete? So just feeling like hardness. How can you loosen it up? How can you see if you can access faith and hope in the middle of the month? Because it may it's like right below the surface for you, Scorpio. Here also at the middle of the month, I'm going to say that you may need to look up and out of yourself to find your own strength. When this card 4 of Cups shows up, it shows me that there may be some preoccupation with what currently exists, how things are, how things they always have been, and you can see the weeds are growing around this person. So the world wants to hand you a new heart. The world wants to hand you a new cup full of something that fills your heart. Cups represent the emotional element. They represent the heart element. So this is the universe trying to hand you something. And the message of 4 of Cups is to look up and out of yourself. It's not going to be in your immediate environment. It's not going to be in your regular routine. It's not going to be part of like how things have been. You're going to need to sort of be less introspective, less self-consumed, and look up and out to see how the world is trying to hand you something. It's also going to be necessary for you to connect with your own strength. I'm seeing, interestingly enough, because it's saying that you're having a hard time connecting with your own strength, with strength in reverse. I'm seeing there's a theme in these three cards here that is plant life and trees. You can see both in this card and in this card there's a palm tree right here and right here. So I'm going to say if there's a way that you can like go under a palm tree or find a tree to sit under and just consider how it is that you can look up and out of yourself, because this is another image of someone sitting in some plant life. Sometimes I call this card Rip Van Winkle, because it's like he's asleep and letting weeds grow around him and therefore not experiencing like the love and the joy and what life wants to give to him. So I'm going to say go sit under a tree and meditate on how it is that you want to move on from this cycle, how you can connect with the hope and the radiance and like the perfection of all of nature, of you included in that, how you can connect with the grand new adventure that's before you, how the world is opening up to you with everything's fresh and new. With zero card, it's sort of like the slate is wiped clean. It's a blank slate. So everything is open. With that in the reverse position, it shows there might be resistance towards that, or not being able to see that, not being able to connect with your own strength, your own gentleness, and feeling like you can't be patient, that you can't endure. When strength shows up, it's a card of endurance, of patience, of fortitude, of knowing your own strength through gentleness and being patient to take time to open the jaws of that lion. With it in reverse, it's saying you're having a hard time connecting with your own strength. But I get the sense, Scorpio, that somehow just spending time under a tree and not focusing on what is, but focusing on what is up and beyond and outside of yourself and outside of your experience, that the world wants to give to you this joy, this cup. So I'm gonna suggest the middle of the month, Scorpio. See if you can find a planted area or some shade that you can sit under and just sort of meditate on your place in the universe, your hope, faith in that, and connecting with your own strength and what does the world want to give to you. I'd like you to focus on that, because I think that's gonna come up for you in May. And then towards the end of the month, I see that there's going to be someone who's an air sign who's going to be instrumental in helping you connect to feeling free. So Queen of Swords is someone she's an air sign. So that is Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. And that is someone who has good knowledge to pass on to you. She is truthful. She's honest. She is direct. She's very to the point. Sometimes she can even be cutting. But she's got a good sense of humor. She can be very witty. And because she's a queen, she has authority. And she can be an expert. And she can help you cut to the heart of the matter. And the world is there to support you. It's funny, too, that this world card is right underneath and supporting star. If you can see in this card, both of them are naked women. One of them is connected with the earth. One of them is floating up in the celestial sphere, totally supported by the universe. All the four poles of the zodiac are supporting her. We've got the lion, which represents fire, and Leo. On its opposite, we've got the person who represents Aquarius, which is the logical mind. It's air. We've got the bull down here, which represents the physical world, and Taurus. And then opposite that, we have Scorpio, which is represented by this eagle here, which represents transformation and emotional transcendence. So, and you can see here's that 0 again, just like with Fool, but this time it's turned around. This time the potential energy, everything's open, and it's like a crowning victory wreath of laurels. So this is like all things are possible. I get the sense that you're going to find your place in the universe through the counsel of this Queen of Swords person. So I would say if you have a counselor, a teacher, a friend, a authority figure, maybe a parent or a sibling or a family member, or I'm not sure who this could be, Scorpio, but an air sign or Queen of Swords, a woman with authority, is going to be able to give you a lot of counsel to make you feel free again. And then your money and lifestyle really blossom at the end of the month, Scorpio. This is 9 of coins and Ace of coins, both good money cards. So 9 of coins means being self-disciplined. It means enjoying all the money that you've brought to yourself through your own discipline. You could see that she is draped in purple robes, which represent luxury. She's eating grapes. She's got this jeweled turban. She's got this falcon, which represents like, wealthy sport. And she's wearing this golden necklace of coins. So this is the riches that you bring to yourself. And I'm seeing this showing up for you. Both of these cards are purple, which represent wealth and abundance. I get the sense that this person, Queen of Swords, is going to really show you how good you have it. There may be a lot of things, there's something you may need to walk away from and let go of some of this heartbreak. And then you may have to look up and you may have a soul-searching moment to reconnect to your own strength, your own hope, your own faith. But I really get the sense that this Queen of Swords person is going to be instrumental in bringing you back to like smelling the roses of life, seeing your own wealth, your own support in the universe, your own vibrancy. So that's coming up at the end of the month for you, Scorpio. That's really nice. And then see if you can put yourself in a place of receiving. There's this whole new garden at the end of the month. Ace, new beginning. And it's of coins. So it could be a new job, a new way for money to come in, a new revenue stream, a new something physical, or something to do with values, a new way of looking at the world, a new lifestyle. It's sort of beckoning to you to go through this portal gate, this new garden. And again, here's that rose again. So I'm getting fragrant. Life is going to be sweet smelling to you at the end of May. And it's just seeming like you are back. You're sitting pretty. You're in a really nice place of enjoying luxury at the end of the month. Once you connect back with the riches. But I'm going to say, since this card is in reverse, you may have some resistance to receiving it. And I'm going to also point out that in this card too, this is another, if you can see in both of these cards, there is the universe is trying to hand you something to do with lifestyle, money, values in this card, and something of the heart in this card. There's the clouds with the hand, just handing it to you. They're both in reverse. So what is your resistance, Scorpio, to receiving those things? Are you aware of what the world is trying to hand to you? If you notice too, these cards are surrounding this person who's in luxury. This is someone who's not afraid to receive. And they're not afraid to experience all the good life, is what I'll call it. If you look at these cards, what's the difference between, the person who's able to receive and the world trying to give? Why are those in reverse? Or what is blocking you receiving heart energy, something you love? And what is blocking you from receiving? Is there any doubt or any fear that you need to clear out for you to accept this gift from the universe? That's going to be my question to you towards the end of May. You have a lot of beautiful, abundant, luxurious energy here towards the end of the month. Ace of coins, world trying to give you money or lifestyle or something lovely with rose, this purple, eating grapes, luxury, rewards of self-discipline, the world, which is one of the most positive cards in the deck, saying you're supported by the whole universe, and this Queen of Swords reminding you, with all these roses, how sort of rosy your life is, or what you've got available to you. So I see there being some challenges here at the beginning of the month, especially with some information that you might find out. Time will heal that. You'll be ready to move on. See, the middle of the month seems the most difficult, but it's an opportunity for you to take some time out, reconnect with your own strength, with hope, with faith. And then the end of the month, you've got a lot of riches and rewards to enjoy, Scorpio.